Hello and welcome to the Remedy Fibers podcast, a podcast about knitting and crochet hosted by me, Jillian. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returner, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Today is a quick check-in. I wanted to show you what I've been up to, what I've been making, as well as just a quick chat, knit, crochet, whatever you want to do while watching this episode. I do see that we have a few new subscribers, so thank you so much for everyone who has been checking out the channel. And the reason why I missed last week was because my friend Christine, hi Christine, was able to visit me for a few days, and it was so fun and we got to do all the things. But I just wanted to do a quick check-in just because I have some exciting news and I hope you stay tuned. But if you're new here, I live in Northern California with my husband and dog Benny. I love everything yarn related and I hope you stay for my yarn journey. So let me show you a finished object actually. The one I'm wearing I finished months ago, but this is my sleeve island. My sleeve island top, and I'll include the information about it. But this is crocheted and it is cotton yarn. But I did also finish another crocheted project, also cotton yarn. Is this cotton yarn? I think this is. And this is the Fall Pullover Sweater by Juanita Juncker, and I finally finished it. It is definitely not in the colors that I normally choose. I went out of my comfort zone for this one. I did use the actual size for my bust measurement and the actual recommended needle size because this is the second time that I've made this top. And the only thing that I would say is that it's a little bit bland, so I'm not really feeling it. I haven't posted any pictures on it really, and what I'm doing is going to add sleeves. So that's why it's still kind of a work in progress even though it's completed. I crocheted past the recommended length because I didn't want it cropped, and then I stopped the sleeves early, but I think I do want it to be long sleeve. So I've just been slow to work on this, but this is something that I do want to finish sooner than later. But the good thing is that it's been really cold and rainy where I'm at, so I still have some time before the heat comes upon us. It's crazy how weird the weather is. I heard that Los Angeles is getting snow, North Carolina is getting like 80-degree weather. Comment down below, how is your weather situation treating you where you're at? I have several finished objects, and the past few weeks have been very hectic for me. So one thing that I do to cope with stress, I know that we talked a little bit about that during the last episode, is how are you coping with stress? How do you find balance in your life? And I know that oftentimes we seek knitting and crochet to keep that peace and joy, but sometimes it can be too much where we kind of don't want to create anything. So I made all of these cotton things. I made so many coffee cozies. So if you have a reusable coffee cup, or if you go to Starbucks, any local places, you can put one of these on your coffee cups to keep them warm. And so this was yarn that one of my staff members donated to me. She's like, I have all this yarn, I know you use it, so here you go. So I've been working through donated stash just to create things and most likely gift them to others. So I've made 3 in the same color of this. I made a pink one. I was following the same design, which is single crochet and double crochet back and forth, but then I just started winging it. So then I just started doing back loop, and I even got a little creative. This one kind of reminds me of like a flower pot. So I'm gonna give these away as gifts. I've already gifted some away to people. And then I had other cotton yarn, this brown color, and I decided to make, now that I think of it, I wonder if I lost one. I started to make wash rags. They can be used while you're showering, they can be used in the kitchen. You know, obviously choose one, don't use it in multiple areas. But these are cotton and they're just cotton squares. And then I made a longer one. This one I kind of thought for the kitchen, you know, as a, once you dry your hands, reusable paper towel. So that's something that if you have cotton yarn left over, they can be gifts to someone, they can be used for your household. I do use cotton face scrubbies to take off my makeup, as well as a cotton rag to wash myself when I'm taking a shower. So all of these have been stress relievers. I feel like they're mindless. These are free patterns, so if I find the one that I was using, I'll link it. But I pretty much just chain 25 stitches, go up and up and up until I finish in the length that I wanted to fit the cup, the coffee cup, and then they're done. So it's a great stash buster. It's effective. Other people really like them. And there's even one that I saw where you can crochet flowers onto them, so that's something that I want to do, but I need a glue gun for that. Oh, and I don't think I showed this one. This one is leftover cotton yarn from the sweater that I'm making. So just another rag, hand towel, something someone will find useful. So as for works in progress, I am still working on my ranunculus. The first time that I created the ranunculus, it went by so fast I had to slow down the project. And the second time that I'm making it, it's actually the reverse of that. It's going really slow. I'm not really finding a lot of inspiration, and it's nothing with the pattern. I think it's just the color that I chose. This year I wanted to challenge myself to get a little bit away from pinks and purples, which I normally gravitate to, and as you can see, try to incorporate different colors in my everyday wear. And it just hasn't been giving me life. It hasn't really been something that I'm attracted to, and I'm hoping that once I get past the design element and I'm in straight stocking it, I can try it on, and maybe that will spark some inspiration for me. But I know the color is beautiful. It's nothing on the yarn, but it's just not giving me my pinks and purples. And recently I was watching an episode, actually I think it was a few weeks ago, I was watching an episode by Nitty Natty, and she was saying that she used to choose colors that weren't her pinks, and she loves pink, so they were her pinks and hot pinks, and she found that she wasn't really getting inspired by those colors, and that she wasn't going to judge herself for creating with colors that she likes, even if it's the same color over and over again. And that really hit for me. So I'm still gonna give different colors a chance, but maybe thinking about different shades of pinks, purples, reds, because that's just something that I really find a lot of enjoyment for when I'm having a long day or it's stressful weeks. Colors that are going to give me life rather than something that kind of just sits for a while. And then the other downside why I haven't been working on this is because I have the digital pattern, and so I need to set the computer to knit on it, and I just haven't had time. I just haven't had the mental space to sit there. I've been on the couch watching Love is Blind Brazil season 2. I love Love is Blind. I love the American version. I love the Brazilian version. Season 2, oh, so good, so good. The first episode had me with so much anxiety, and even the reunion. Oh, watch Love is Blind Brazil. It is in Portuguese, but you can, I think they have a few languages you can change for the audio version, just because the subtitles, you need to look at what you're doing. Loved it so much. But this is how it's going so far. I still really love the pattern, and the good thing about knitting this for the second time is I'm actually counting my stitches. So I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to. It's supposed to have like a 4-dot pattern. The other one is like a 3-dot because I messed up the count. But it's still looking really cute, and let me know what you think about this, how you're feeling it, or just give me some encouragement to get past sleeve separation, because once I'm in stocking it, I can just go mindless. I need a lot of mindless projects these days. The next work in progress that I have, I don't even think that I've given you any update, because the last video I posted was me spinning, and so I have finally wound up my yarn that I hand spun. And I was going to make another video of me talking about the process of knitting with my hand spun, but we're just going to chat right here. And I said in that video, I got this yarn in October and I didn't finish it until February, so almost 4 months to finally get it into this state. And I said, isn't it crazy, all that time and energy put into this one ball of yarn for me not to really like the colors? That's what I originally said when I first saw this, just because it's not really the colors that I gravitate to. But I'm gonna be open-minded, and I'm gonna show you the swatch that I made, and I'm actually really enjoying it. So I have a tool that you can wrap your yarn around however many times it fits, and depending on how many wraps per inch tells you more or less what weight yarn you have. So I did do this for this yarn, and it did come out to be worsted. Obviously there's going to be thin and thick pieces because I hand spun it and I'm still new to learning spinning yarn, but for the most part I'm going to take it as a worsted weight yarn. The sad thing is I don't know how much yardage I have. It is pretty thick and it is a big ball of yarn, but I think I need a nitty knotty to calculate how much yardage is in here, and that's just something that I don't know and I don't have. I was watching some other spinning podcasts, and they were saying that after you spin, you let the yarn soak, it does shrink. So whatever yardage I thought I had, I definitely lost yardage. I definitely lost yardage in the drying process. But we're gonna make it work and we're gonna wing it. And so one goal of mine, I didn't say it in my goals video. I think I did say it, but it got cut out. One goal of mine is to use my hand spun to make garments. And so I decided to do a swatch, and I was inspired by Rochelle, the podcaster for Queen Yarn Boutique. So if you haven't checked her out, definitely, I'll put her information down below and go subscribe to her. But she is making the, let me see what the name of it is. She is making the year-round popover, and I think that there is a knit along happening or make along happening with the designer. But I decided to get inspired and see that is a worsted weight yarn that it's called for, and to see if I match gauge. So this is the gauge swatch. I did use the recommended needle size, and I did meet gauge for the yarn that I spun. So I let it dry and soak just to see, make sure it was accurate and it didn't grow in the process. But I really like how the gauge swatch turned out, and it's giving me Noro. It's giving me stripes, subtle stripes. And I think it's really beautiful knit up compared to how it looks in this big ball of yarn. And so I haven't actually bought the pattern because I wanted to make sure that I was going to meet gauge, because I've done that before where I would buy a pattern, I can't meet gauge, I don't have the needle size, I can't move forward, and it just delays the process. So I wanted to make sure that I matched gauge before choosing a different pattern that was going to work for this yarn. So I do meet gauge, and it is something that I want to work on because it's just giving me hand spun Noro. And I was watching one podcaster, I forgot who. Oh, I could tell you who that was. Now it's all coming back to me. So I was watching Stitched Vintage. She is a YouTuber that pretty much focuses solely on spinning and her process of spinning. And she was saying how Spin Cycle, they used to make all their things handmade, hand spun, but because they grew so much in size, they actually have machines to replicate hand spinning. That yarn is very expensive. I have never purchased Spin Cycle just because of the price tag, and you need more than one ball of yarn. So she just encouraged everyone who wants to spin or is beginner spinners to just continue to do thick and thin, because there's machines that are trying to replicate what's done by our hands. So that was really motivational, and it also put less pressure on me to have the most perfect hand spun yarn ever, because that's why we spin. It's not going to be perfect, but it's special to us and unique only to us. So hopefully I'll have some progress the next time we chat, but if not, this is something that I'm excited to start and practice on and see if I even have enough yardage to create a top with it, or maybe a crop top and add something in the bottom. I don't know. We'll make it work. We'll see. Last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to my friend Haley. She was visiting her family last weekend in Nevada, and I told her about a store which you probably all know about, and she actually visited it. Not only did she buy herself yarn, she bought me yarn, and it is Jimmy Bean's wool. Can you believe that it's only, I think, two or 3 hours away from me? And so she picked up this yarn for me. It is hand dyed, only $20, and I think they're all odds and ends. There's 800 yards combined. So I'm not quite sure what I want to make with this. Something fun. maybe a little blanket, maybe 800 yards might be enough for like a short sleeve, but I'm not 100% sure. So this is so cute, and hopefully I can take you there in the upcoming months. So really, last but not least, that was not really last but not least, this upcoming weekend is Stitches West. I can't wait to go. I already bought my ticket. Me and my friend Haley are gonna head over on Saturday, probably first thing in the morning when it opens, because we want to see the deals and get all the things. And I haven't really planned it. I haven't really thought about what I want to get. I think I'm gonna go to Stitches West without really having any solidified plans. No budget. Maybe I'll put like a soft budget, but I don't want to go too crazy because I still have a lot of projects that I'm currently working on or I want to work on. So I don't want to get overwhelmed with yarn that's going to take me a year to make, just because it takes me, you know, a long time to make projects. So I don't want to get too crazy, but I really have been using my burgundy cardigans so much, more so than my pullovers. And so I really want to make another cardigan, probably something in a neutral color, just so that I can wear it with any outfit and just continue to explore, pick patterns that excite me and colors that excite me. So let me know how you are doing. I hope that you and your family are happy, healthy, and safe. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next week. Take care. Bye.